Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are looking at the Age of Wushu once again. I'm KageKaze, your host. Well, while I was out, apparently my character decided to wander quite a bit of a distance away from where I needed to be, so we are traveling back now, but I wanted to record a little bit of it because, honestly, I'm going to say, some of this is quite beautiful. There's some really nice looking landscapes. I guess I'm a sucker for Asian themes, though. Alright, so what we're going to try and do is get as far as we can, make a little bit of a progress here, some headway, because honestly, we're going to run into a period where some new games are coming out. It's going to definitely take up some time. And I'm going to be quite honest here. As much as this game intrigues me, as much as there are some really interesting systems, the things holding it back, as I've mentioned before, is like the complexity of it all, and honestly there's a little bit of a slowness to it that I can't seem to get past. I really like the idea of this game, and what it offers and what it promises, but there's something missing that has not quite hooked me, and that is why the content has been a little bit slow. I've wanted to come back, but there just hasn't been that overall desire that I was hoping would happen. Of course, part of this is because we haven't gotten very far, we haven't played very much. So that's what I'm going to do, is we're going to pick up the pace a little bit, I think, and see if we can get some decent combat. I at least want to get to a point, if I can, before the month's out, to where at least I'm flying or seeing some more interesting things in combat. Because the thing that sounds interesting to me that this game is trying to do is that eventually when you can learn to fly and things like that, this whole 3D movement thing is going to be a part of your actual combat strategy and into things like PvP. Alright, Shifu needs to teach me some skills, so let's find out what we get. Alright, so it doesn't really tell me much here. I need to talk with him again. And, okay. Looks like he handed me the items I need to learn some new skills. And I also have a sword. Oh, not to mention I got a piece of armor earlier, so we'll go ahead and wear my new armor. I did wear my new armor, right? Huh. Interesting. Oh, it's a fashion piece. So how do I wear it? That is kind of weird. Oh, okay, identity outfit. There we go. So I've got my Zhenghua outfit. So that's kind of cool. I've got multiple outfits slotted over here. And I can wear one of 3 different sets, so I can look more like a scholar now if I so desire. I can also equip my sword now, which is nice. I got a sword on my back. Look at me! Starting to look more badass over time. I cannot turn the camera by itself, can I? Yep, he'll always be facing away. Okay, well... Oh, beside that, I did get some mail. So what did I get? I got a item for joining my school. Okay, I got some clothes. So let's go ahead and pick that up, delete the email, and then let's right-click on that. And then I can go back to my character slot, and it looks like that's part of my Zhenghua outfit. Oh! That's kind of nice. Oh, good, I can use the arrow keys. I like that. I don't quite look like a scholar, but I do like this armor here. And it gives me some stats, some stamina and some parry. Pretty cool. So while I'm running around, I can look like a scholar while I'm training, and then I can go around outside and switch costumes. That's cool. See, really cool ideas. Just lacking some execution on certain things. Alright, so... what have we got here? We've got the Flying Swallow returns. 6-second cooldown. A charging movement, leisurely uppercut that deals 177 to 179 points external damage. 2 hits, does about 91 points of damage. It destabilizes the enemy's lower body and knocks them into the air. Okay, can be used with flying skills to quickly approach the enemies. So it knocks enemies into the air, and it's also an approach skill. So I can use that one. And this is what I'm talking about, that whole 3D movement and flight. Alright, so I've learned Flying Swallow Returns. Let's go ahead and go into my skill book here. And let's slot it. This is a direct attack skill, and it looks like I have a normal sword attack over here as well. So we now see I've got some skills going on. So let's move this over here so I can have some combos. So I'll have my normal attack, and then I'll have the Flying Swallow Returns. This is Flying Flowers and Falling Leaves. It's 8-second cooldown, 36 energy needed, charge skill. The colorful sword chi will lash the target and deal 161 to 163 points external damage. Skill can bring down, oh, it does 2 hits by the way. Skill can bring down targets in the air and paralyze a target's legs. Reduce movement speed and forbids use of flying. So I can ground an enemy. So I can fly to them quickly and then I can ground them. Skill can be used, this skill can use flying skill to approach to, so it's another approach skill. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and study. There it is, Flying Flowers and Falling. So we'll put it down here. It's another direct attack red skill. So we'll just go ahead and put it over here. Has an 8-second cooldown, whereas this has a 6-second cooldown. So let's see. That knocks them into the air, and that brings them back down. So you might reasonably think that we have a combo here. But I'm not sure it's going to work out quite that way. We'll find out. Alright, so again, it kind of completes my quest, and then he's got yet another quest for me. Why it doesn't continue, I don't know. Alright, great. More skills. Let's go down here. Backpack. We are now learning Hero's Tier. The single sword technique, 2-second cooldown. Your sword's chi sweeps enemies in front of you. It does 98 to 100 points external damage, does 2 hits. After you strike, your hero's tier chi becomes focused. If you continually use this move, your chi will become explosive, preventing the enemy from using flying skills. Like a hero's tier, leaves no trace. Penetrate skin and bones with your sword to deal damage to the enemy. Interesting. So it's a quick ability. 2-second cooldown means we can use it frequently. Let's go into the book here. Hero's Tier, another direct attack ability. Now this does use energy. The basic attack does not. So we're looking at to where I don't know if I want to remove my basic attack ability or not, because I've got 3 direct attack abilities now. So let's put that in front. That looks like it would be very quickly used. So it gains focus chi, and eventually I can prevent the enemy from flying. And of course, number 4 also paralyzes and keeps them from flying. So I've got 2, which eventually will keep them from flying. 3, which will knock them into the air. And then 4, which again will prevent flight. Alright, moving on to the next, we've got Snow Moon's Wind. Snow Moon's Wind Flower. 15-second cooldown, 36 energy. Dance with the sword, attack while moving and dealing 636 to 638 points external damage, does 5 hits. Damage to surrounding enemies. Enemies will take more damage if their legs are paralyzed. This attack cannot be interrupted. Alright, so let's go ahead and study. That's a pretty powerful skill we've just learned. Let's see. Snow Moon's Will. Alright. And so this is an ability that doesn't look like it's a rage skill. So here's what we can see so far. Now this will do more damage if the legs are paralyzed. So we have an ability that paralyzes the legs. Alright, this inflicts damage on the target in the air with paralysis, slows the target movement. So we want to basically make sure that we use this after we paralyze the enemy. So 4 knocks them into the air. So let's do this. We're going to have an ability that can prevent them from flying. We've got this, Flying Swallow returns, destabilizes them, knocks them into the air. We've got 4, which will paralyze. And then 5 will do more damage after they've been paralyzed. Okay, great. So there we go. Let's go ahead and talk to the teacher again. Oh, unless that's not what I'm supposed to do. I wasn't reading the first part. So I have to challenge Fei Lubin. And then I have to, of course, use the sword and here's... Yeah. Alright. So there we go. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, I've come to learn! And so I have to enter ballad. So I have to equip the sword, and I use Hero's Tear and Windflowers and Snowy Moon, it would seem. So, Hero's Tear. And... Windflowers and Snowy Moon. Do I even... What? Oh well, let's take a look at some of my skills. Let's do that. There's the one that's supposed to destabilize and knock into the air. That one paralyzes. And there's the AoE. That's pretty cool. I like that. Snow Moon's Windflower is a really cool looking skill. Lasts for a while too. AoE, so we've got basic attack. We've got attack that knocks up. I can't do it right now, and then this. I like that you can move while using it. That's pretty cool. Alright, Dunfeng, Ling Shao. So you can see my command bar is already starting to get a little bit cluttered. I might have to start using more bars. Alright, we let him know I defeated him, so we talk to him again to get the next skills. And so I have to challenge Yao Yujian. I know I'm saying these names wrong. Alright, I got 2 more skills, so I'm already getting full here. So what are we going to learn here? We've got Whisper of Falling Dust. Combine the word and body. Successful parry has 25% chance to counter stun. Make enemy paralyzed for 5 seconds. You cannot move, or it says cannot move, so I'm guessing they can't move. Alright, let's go ahead and study. And... which one was that? That was... it was a parry. Which one was it? Okay, here we go. Whispers of Falling Dust. Now, that was a parry, so what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and get rid of this Embrace the Moon, because that's a defensive stance, and I'm pretty sure I can replace it completely with this Flying Swallow. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Oops, sorry, wrong one. This one. So here we go. Yep, see, you can see outside is green, so that is our parry, so that's good. We'll go ahead and put this over here. So we can use our parry at will. And then, of course, I'm not in combat, so I can't right-click. Alright, new ability, finally. Flowers Reflected in the Moon. Single sword, 10-second cooldown, but this one consumes anger. So we can replace my anger attack that I have here, my number 8, my Step Backward over 7 stars. Now, I really liked Step Backward over 7 stars. Oh, I didn't know... Cool. Another bar is there. Okay, so the secret skill of the Fallen Hero, a soft sword skill of relentless attacks. Charge, strike the enemy 557 to 559. It does 9 hits. Alright, so it says to evade enemy's attack, you continually see stab and deal damage to your enemy. And there's the ability. It is a really nice looking sword combination, so I will be looking forward to using this. Let's go ahead and get to the screen here, and I really should remember the name after I learn it. Flowers Reflected in the Moon. There it is. So we'll go ahead and put that on number 6. So we've got our parry move, and we've got our feint over here. So we do not have a sword feint skill yet. Alright. Yao Yuzhen. We shall challenge you for supremacy.
I shall challenge you for leadership of the Decepticons, and I will be victorious.
Hello. I must beat you up. I'm sorry. Practice with me, senpai. 1. Okay. To the air with thee. Paralyze the legs. Sweep the legs. Alright, which one knocked him into the air? That was 3, right? Yeah. Alright, let's try and get some anger up. Alright, I won the challenge, but I didn't get to use my, darn, I didn't get to use my, ultimate combo there. Flowers reflected in the moon. I really wanted to actually see it, actually do it. Alright, well, there'll be more chances for combat later, right? So let's go ahead and go back. And talk to him again. Why the hell not? And again? Alright, go and remember practice makes perfect. Thank you, elder brother. Alright. And with that, I've finished my beginning, I guess. So there's a few events here. Wander in the Wild. You know, this is kind of new. I haven't seen it. So what's the school exclusive skill? The Scholar's Leisure Kick, Falling Flower Sword, and Boundless Sword are some of the most famous skills. Alright, learn school. Okay, so this is basically telling me what I can do. So I've already done all that. I've got the school exclusive skills. It won't let me look at anything else here for whatever reason. It looks like I completed, just entered. So around the world. Okay, just entered is done. Around the world, can't do any of that. I've got events, Wander the Wild, Marketplace. So these are the things I can learn, do to, like, see, like I even got Fine Arts. I learned some of these things. So these are different things that you can do throughout the game to kind of experience the game, and it gives you, I guess this is kind of like a tutorial slash, you know, here's an introduction to what this is all about kind of thing. So, alright, so now that we've done, let's talk to him again, even though it's not part of our quests. Okay, so now I have to go to the guild guide to learn about guilds. Alright, so in this way, the tutorial area is still kind of teaching you about the game mechanics, so now we'll learn something else about it, in this case, guilds. Oh, apparently I had 2 more skills. Reticent Flower single sword ability. 2-second cooldown. Brilliant Sword Chi punishes the enemy and deals 6668. External damage, 1 hit. When you use this move to break an enemy block, it destabilizes the enemy's lower body and keeps them from flying. So we can see that many of my skills are flight prevention skills. So I can move around, fly around, and prevent the enemy from flying. Now this is obviously a feint. So I've learned the Reticent Flower. And what I'll do is, since we don't need this one anymore, we'll put it here. So there we go. We've got a new feint, we've got a parry, and we've got 4 different moves aside from a basic attack as well as a rage move. So quite a bit of skills here. So what's this last one? This is Spring Rain. Devastate surrounding opponents by creating a field of pure inner energy. This increases the might of your own external and internal skills and increases your ability to regenerate hit points. Alright. With your sword like Spring Rain, protecting yourself in a special area to recover. Okay, so this is a recovery ability. This can replace my sit and breathe technique, I believe. So let's go ahead and pull this up. And that was... Plum Blossom and Spring Rain. Okay, this one here. So let's just go ahead and put that... What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the second tier here, so that we can get a look at it. So this is a 5-second cooldown. Regain health and energy. This skill increases the might of your own internal and external ability, increases your ability to regenerate hit points. So it's a 15-second cooldown, needs 7 energy. So maybe I'm wrong. I guess it won't replace it, but I can put it on here. There we go. There's a field around me now. So I can put it up here as an additional bar. That'll work for now. I'm just kind of concerned about my skill bar getting a little bit busy with all the skills I've got. I think maybe eventually I will just have to decide what skills I ultimately want to do and what combos I plan to do and just pick accordingly. I imagine a true master of the game might be someone like, let's think in World of Warcraft, right? There's so many skills in that game, or at least for a while there were. They've kind of cut out unnecessary skills, but you had a lot of skills that you would only use situationally, but if you were good at the game, you kept them available so you could use them when you needed them. And it seems like in this game there's something very similar. You're going to have a lot of skills, and you're probably going to want to keep them around for special situations. So what I'm going to have to see if there's more bars that I can unlock other than these two. So as of right now, these two are definitely the only ones I can see, but of course you've got this one down here, but this is only for passive abilities that you can turn on. Alright, so... Oh, we can see up here in the buffs I have a Hero's Tears. My next Hero Tears attack will render the target's footing unstable, so that's how that works. Whispers of the Falling Dust. Parry has a chance to paralyze, so my parry ability is still active. And looks like I still don't have my freedom from kidnappers. Alright, so let's talk about guilds. Alright, so... Okay, class completed. Guild Administrator. Okay. Now this is a game that does reward you for, of course, being with guilds and other players, and you get titles and abilities. I covered that a bit last time in my life. What was that button again? In... Oh, I don't even remember what that button is anymore. There it is, U. So we saw it in here with, you know, getting reputation, getting... This one doesn't have it, but one of these had getting a certain amount of friends. Yeah, here we go, make friends. Make one friend. There we go. And I gain Friendship Founder, some Cultivation, and Reputation. So, you know, yeah, that's there. It's a thing. It wants me to be social. I don't want to be social, damn it. Alright, let's complete my task. Thank you. Seemed urgent. Okay, great. Scholars obtain voice servant. Alright, that one. I already did. Oh, what's this? Daily event missions. Okay, great. So now that I'm part of this school, I can do different tasks, it looks like. So I can protect school scripts. Skill manuals of each school used to learn school skills. Is that the rewards? No, it's the rewards. Okay, it tells me what the possible rewards are here in this tooltip, but it doesn't tell me which ones are which. So... That's cool that there's these daily events. So this is like, I guess, the daily quests of any other game. So it looks like I can protect the school scripts 5 times. There's an opening time from 19 to 1930, so... Is that only when you can do it, huh? Interesting. So there are set times. Looks like some of these are 24 hours, though. So there's set times that you can protect the scriptures. I don't know how I feel about that, because especially being a player that plays really late / early in the morning, I would not be able to participate in that, or the guild battle. An escort mission, huh? But it looks like there are some 24-hour things, such as kidnapping people, rescuing people. And of course, this will affect your morality. Bounty notices, arenas, tournaments, spy on schools. This is how you will eventually learn scriptures from other schools, by the way. And then, of course, patrol your own school to prevent people from stealing your stuff. Alright. So let's go back to the scholars and scholar with the sword. I must get the servant title, got a reputation, and I need to get wisdom skill reaches level 5. So with wisdom skill? Wisdom skill reaches level 5. What is my wisdom? Is that this one? Passing wisdom skill. Okay. Am I still cultivating that? I haven't looked at that. Cultivation. There. Passing wisdom skill. So apparently that turned off. I don't know why. I'm not entirely happy about that. It's going to take 45 minutes for that to level up. Okay. So I can now report to Zhao Beijing, and what do we have here? Complete cultivation, sacred places, talk to Quan Mo. So I have 2 quests now. This one is homesickness. Okay, so this is my main storyline here, the homesickness thing. I'm not going to do that one. Let's go ahead and continue where we are here. We're going to talk to Quan Mo. And continue on. Try and finish up here, because once I get onwards to homesickness, I'll return home and I'll have part of my storyline in front of me, and that's definitely going to be interesting. We'll want to do that, but I want to see what else we have here, anything else that I need to learn. And of course, as you can see, lots of back and forth. So, I guess let's just make this interesting, because I don't want to make you watch running back and forth. So I will go ahead and we'll skip ahead to when we get nearby. Ni hao, we are back, and this place is pretty. I gotta tell you, I kind of look forward to being able to run across that water. I do really like the water and the looks of that. Okay, so here we go. So it is a pleasure to meet you. I wish to learn skills. Yes, please teach me to cultivate. We're standing on a sacred place. I often come here to cultivate my skills, as a calming atmosphere allows me to focus my mind. So go to a sacred place and cultivate your skills. So this is yet more cultivation. Kalamananananamana. Right. That word, that for some reason, every time I go to say it, my tongue ties in my mouth. It's beautiful. We're going to cultivize. Internal cultivation. Okay, so I don't see any difference here. This says it's going to take 38 minutes, so the idea here is supposedly when you get to a place like this of tranquility, it's supposed to increase your cultivation rate. But I don't quite understand exactly how it works still. If you are fortunate enough to find a sacred place, your cultivation speed will increase quickly. See, so once again, he's mentioning that going to these sacred places. So, cultivating martial arts is not an easy process. A sacred place such as this will greatly increase your cultivation speed. That is why Grand Masters and ardent pupils come to meditate in these locations. Sacred places benefit skills corresponding to the mountain, forest, cave, water, or snow. This location here is one such sacred place. The path to mastery requires dedication and patience. Remember this. So there we go. Here I imagine my cultivation is supposed to be improved. Again, though, it's showing me 37 minutes, so we'll leave this area and we'll see if that changes, but it just doesn't seem like to be that much. Alright. Anything else for me? Oh, team practice. So this was the other way of cultivating. Okay, so click on Cultivation, click on Team Practice, and then it's a sample window. Normally sets will appear here when you select Team Practice mode. You'll be able to select one and begin Team Practice. Be aware that each sect has different effect during the Team Practice, so I can click on one and then click Start. And then I can click on Start Team Training. Okay, okay, that's kind of cool. So it shows me something. Okay, please left-click on the omniscient recorded utterance and look upon the details of the team practice. Okay, so it looks like as you do this, it shows you letters to push. So, okay, right and K. There we go. And you can see, look at that. My cultivation is going up quite a bit. 2 consecutive strikes. But, as you can see, it takes some time. He's kind of flailing about, practicing, punching Shifu over and over again. That's fine, as he is wont to do. Looks like I can leave training here in the lower right-hand corner at any time. And it looks like I just have to wait for each successive mark. So now, okay, left, right, J. Pretty easy. I can see where this would speed things up, but do I have to be here to do the team practice? Hard to say. So, what have I got here? We've got hide those players not on your team. Character attribute, so I can bring that up. My backpack is here. Water. Okay, cultivation rate. Okay, oops, down, left, right. I kind of like the way they do this as a mini game, and it's kind of what I like about the crafting ideas in this game, is the crafting all being a mini game. I think it's kind of cool. At least it's a distracting thing, right? So if I'm here and I just want to get skill ups, maybe I don't care about playing the game so much. Like maybe I don't want to go out on an adventure. Maybe I want to do something else. Maybe I want to watch a little TV. But I want to level up my skills, so I can just wait for the prompts. I mean, you can obviously hear that every time a new skill is about to happen, there's the ding, ding, ding. So you wait for that, and then you can pay attention to the game again when your prompt comes up. So you could multitask. You can level up, you can phase through banners, just like I did. And that's not bad. It's not bad, but I think I would want a more... I think I'm more interested in more active ways of learning skills, like actually using the skills and things like that. And as you can see, in this case, I'm gaining a decent amount of progress and gaining a decent amount of... I'm just like saving a bit of time. But it's still going to take a while. So I can't just... I would probably only do this when I've got time to kill and I've got other things I want to do. Oh, more complex. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I'm getting more points for the more complicated ones. So, let me see. Apparently there's 10 rounds for this. Next round, so I can see when the next round occurs here. Next round will be in 2 seconds. Shows me my points and my fatigue level. Down, left, down, right. Okay. I feel like I'm doing Street Fighter combos. Super combo, Shinku Hadoken. Can look at my martial arts. Alright, anything else here? Engaging in team practice, you can click on the meditation icon, click on team practice, joining team practice. When the host player selected the nature of the practice, other players can click apply for team practice. Okay, right, right. K, down, right, K. Gotcha. Okay, once all players have joined, the host can click on Begin Team Practice, begin the actual training. Every player must press the keys displayed on screen in sequence in order to complete the practice sessions. Rewards are calculated according to the following criteria: the set type, number of rounds, and the highest number of consecutive hits. Now, it doesn't mention this, but I have a feeling that this would be going faster and I would be learning, or I would be getting more skills if there were other people practicing. I mean, this is called team practice after all. So it makes me think that because I'm not in a team right now, I'm just not gaining as much. So there we go, cool, that's done. So there is a time limit on it, and it looks like I can probably do it again. If I click on this, we'll see. Okay. Number of people, 1 to 10, has 10 rounds, lasts 5 minutes. So there you go, you at least get an idea of how long it's going to take, and it gives you a slight little mini game to play. And looks like some of these, so the first two are the same. Wow. We got 2 people attacking. I don't even know what to make of this. Looks like one guy's got daggers, and he's using... Oh, that was pretty cool. It looked like he was fighting an AFK person or something like that, so... Oh wow, there he goes, running on the water. An assassin comes in, and suddenly leaves on the water. I have no idea what that was about, but that was still kind of cool to watch. Alright, so is there anything else? Complete that, it looks like, and that gives me more reputation. Alright, well he's done, so it looks like I have a patrol task. For news about... So, okay, it's basically going to start teaching me all the different things I can do still. So yeah, this is definitely very much a tutorial area. And what's beautiful is, as you can tell by the fact I have that homesickness thing, is I can leave here at any time to just go ahead, go off into the world, and just play my storyline. So that's good to see. I think I'll do a bit more of these quests, and let's see what kind of interesting things this game has to offer. Alright, so I need to learn more about what's happening at the school and notice strangers around. Someone sneaked into the headmaster's room. What's happening? Alright, so I have to ask some patrolling disciple, and they will know better. Okay, very good. Well, that certainly had me run for a little bit. Alright, we've found our disciple. Go and see if I can find any spies. We've got a few or more. Okay, so this is basically an introduction into something that I'm going to be doing on a daily basis, pretty much. Actually, maybe not so much. I don't know. I haven't done any of the dailies, so it's hard to say if this is something I'll always have to do, is go and... let's see. Looks like Li Guangzhen is acting strange. Oh, here we go. There's some silver. Okay. She's offering me silver, and I have no way of accepting it. So, I don't know what I think about that. I mean, obviously it's a quest I have to do for my story, so I can't accept it. But it'd be kind of interesting if they offered you some morality choices at this point, since there are some morality things, like kidnapping people, which makes you, which lowers your morality a little bit. Oh, battle. Wait. Oh, hi. There you are. Alright. Let's stabilize you into the air. And apparently that didn't work. Alright, so let's go ahead and activate that, and we'll parry the next attack. I want to knock her into the air. I want that to happen. There we go. I won! And I'm running into plants now. Oy. Okay, well that was anticlimactic. I won, but... There was no, like, follow-up dialogue or everything phased back, so I can't even tell if I supposedly killed her. Maybe I did. I don't know. I'm brutal. I think I may have killed somebody. I've taken a life. How can I live with myself? I'd commit seppuku, but this is a Chinese sword. It's too long. No. I will have to live with my shame. Well then. And now I will complete my patrolling guide. I will gain myself some win and some reputation. I can exchange patrol keepsakes to the intelligence administrator for tokens used for more advanced internal skills and scripts. So let's take a quick look. It looks like school gathering, register, certificate, bound after purchasing task items. So scholar's honor badge. Ooh, gold string. If you bring it with the honor certificates to the select item keeper, you will get a gift pack. Gold string, 100 item certificates, exchange for one gift pack. Huh. So am I buying this stuff from him, or what? Okay, right click on it requires, and then it tells me how many certificates I need. Well, that's kind of an awkward system. It should really tell you here, how many you need at this time. I have to right click before I know what I have to buy it with. So do I even have any of these honor certificates? Doesn't look like it at this point. No, indeed. Okay, return and thank you. Please keep eyes open for spies, and yeah, okay, we're done here. Looks like oh, I can become a spy. So, how do I spy on other schools? So, use your skills to steal information from their disciples. Be careful, don't get caught. Don't know if they're what they'll do to me. So, do I need to look out for anything else? Send some disciples to spy on the other schools too. Find them when you get there and report their information back to me. Excellent. It's not an easy task. It can be rewarding. And again, talks about these honor certificates. Alright. So, it looks like I can speak to an elder brother in my school to learn about the script theft. So, here's what we'll do. This wasn't the most action-packed video yet again. It's because we're dealing with a very long tutorial thing. But I've gotten kind of used to this with MMOs in the beginning. So, obviously, the problem here is, again, the lack of hook. But is that really this game's fault? Because it needs to teach me about all these systems. Now, unfortunately, I do feel that it is this game's fault that it doesn't explain it very well. I am going through it kind of quickly, but some of the wording is nebulous at best, and makes it seem like makes things sound more complicated than they probably really are. And then again, there are systems that are very complicated that just don't seem to have the breadth of the description and tutorials, really. It almost seems like they should hold your hand through doing something very specific. And some of these things do that, such as the having you do the group training right then and there. But the weird thing is it pops icons up here on your screen rather than telling you where to go. It puts the icon here, and so there are certain things that I forget how to do because I'm used to an icon popping up, but the icon doesn't pop up in the full game. Was, for example, trying to find, before I go into that, my U menu here. This popped up several times before, and I eventually had to figure out how to do it. Just find the right key. You know, so let's try. I'm going to try and get to some more action-packed locations, but of course I want to share with you my experience, what I'm thinking of as I'm doing this. Why? Because I think some people actually like to watch that kind of thing. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, it's up to you. But you know, part of it too is I feel that this is it makes for good discussion at times too, because it's kind of interesting to see anyone that follows and watches this see what their impressions are at the same time as seeing my own, and it can lead to some interesting discourse and conversation about, what are good game mechanics, what are bad game mechanics, what is it about this game that is going to turn people away, is this stuff that if a developer were to find this, would they glean some insight into what it is about their game that's not quite hooking people, or conversely, what might be hooking people. Something that World of Warcraft does very well, for example, is that in the very beginning, you're already off and fighting monsters from the beginning, and then it tells you to go into your main city, and then eventually starts teaching you other things, such, you start learning your quests right away. But World of Warcraft, by comparison, is not a very complex system, or a very complex game, at least not in the beginning. Later on, there's a few other things that add to complexity, but they're taught to you at a decent pace and when you really need them, because a lot of the more complex stuff you don't really need until you really get to the end game. And then by then, I think they imagine too, you'll also have guildies and things like that to kind of help you along. So learning the finer points of things like crafting and dungeoning and things like that. And even then, when you get to a level that you can do dungeons, a pop-up appears and say, hey, you can do dungeons now. Why don't you do this? And so they didn't always do this well. When World of Warcraft first came out, before Cataclysm, one of Blizzard's self-admitted statements was, we can't keep new players. New players are not staying. And part of it was because the opening areas just weren't either explaining it enough, weren't engaging enough, and they ultimately changed that. I am seeing some more recent MMOs that that can follow suit on that. Like, look at Neverwinter. You started in a very action-oriented location. You were right away. You first picked up your items, and then you went right into combat. And that's a really engaging way to get someone to start, and they're like, hey, this is kind of cool. Then when they get to the boring stuff, like running around and doing the story stuff and trying to learn all the systems, they are okay with it because they've already experienced the cool part and they want to get back to that. So they're willing to sit through the preachy tutorial stuff in order to get back to that action. And so far, this game hasn't really shown me that action aspect. I mean, I killed a few wolves, sure, but they were wolves. And so far, the combat has felt a little stiff in everything I've fought so far. And I don't think there's enough feedback in the combat system, at least in the few enemies I fought. Again, not very many. Like, why couldn't I knock someone into the air? Why couldn't I do certain things? There's not a lot of feedback as to why certain things do and don't work in the combat system so far. So even though I've gotten a few fights, I still haven't experienced that wow factor. The big hook, the draw that makes me want to continue this game right now is seeing what other people have done. I mean, I watched an assassin come in and kill somebody, had some really cool looking skills, and then he ran off onto the water. I know I can start running up walls and things like that, running on treetops. That's really cool. What if they gave me a sampling of that in the very beginning to let me know exactly how it's going to work? That might be neat. I don't know how they would fit it in, unfortunately, because this is all about learning martial arts, and so you're a student and you're learning here. Maybe some kind of tutorial stage where you play as a hero or something like that to get the story rolling. I don't know. Well, that's my random thoughts so far. I'm going to move on. We're going to do the next one, and so in the next video, we're going to go ahead and spy on a school, and hopefully we'll start getting to the story quest. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.